Now, you got to ask yourself the hard questions here. What do you desire most out of life? Not trivial, not monetary, not material, but rather a purpose. What are you willing to sacrifice to get to that greater good? Believing what you truly desire is attainable. What present day is stopping you? How much will it cost to get to that next level of greatness often sought after?
This cost me everything.
Every goddamn thing you got, that's what it costs. People don't understand that, and this is the most important part about what they don't understand. What will you change once you receive what you manifested?
Everything.
What will it feel like?
Everything.
Who will be around you?
Everyone.
Who will benefit?
Everyone.
Who gonna suffer?
No one anymore. Not on my reign.
If there was ever a day to see it to believe it, 21st is going to be that day. Now, of course...
Listen, I still want superpowers, so I'm trying to get to that. I want to believe. I'm signing up.
You might have to go to a power plant or something and hope for the best.
Get your shine on, get your shine on, get your shine on, shine.
One more time.
Get your shine on, get your shine on, get your shine on, shine.
Okay, let's go. What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome back to yet another episode of Off the Strength, where we're giving you the inside look into all things wellness culture. I'm a trainer called Tony, and of course with me, I got some gentlemen of extraordinary league. Well-headed, I might add.
Very well, very well.
Guys, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves, please.
You're trainer Corey, a.k.a. your favorite trainer's favorite trainer.
KR Jones is in the building, well-hatted, and Tone, you are, well-leathered.
Well bandanaed, too.
Well bandanaed.
My man got two rags on. He got the camouflage and the blue rag.
I was coming in with them killers, boy. I try and tell you, man. We was ready.
When you cripping in the bushes.
Hey, yeah. You got to be able to blend in with the 100-year plan, man. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all type, if you could not tell, this is a variety hour. That's where you're going to hear some of the best goddamn information out there in all of the wellness league, so that you can take your best foot forward and hopefully stride on through the week, coming from the brightest inside the industry, fellas. What's going on your sides? How has the week been? Can we enlighten the massive on what is the deal this week?
Man, let me tell you what I jumped into. So, if you happen to be around my way, and I ain't gonna tell you what my way is, but it's not by yours. If you were around the way around like 11 to midnight 30, you would have found your boy frolicking in the year's first snow. I was out there like a toddler with the new mittens.
Okay.
I was out there playing.
You was out there?
I was having a good time.
Did you throw snowballs at people?
I thought about it, but I was like, I'm gonna get shot.
Yeah, snowballs while black is a different situation.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna get
shot. Charge?
Yeah.
That's definitely an assault.
I had a good time. It was all good till I got back in the house and I started that wheeze. You know what I mean? That good deep wheeze.
Yeah.
Sound like a European police car. I was like...
Well, for me this week...
We found our first edit point.
Right there. For me this week, I was thinking about, that game that's been played, Tony. You know what game I'm talking about?
No.
It's right below spades in the black community. So you got spades and then you got this.
Running from the police track?
Nope.
We're not talking about that, but we're talking about Uno. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Uno. And Nina Chanel Abney dropped the artist collab for the new Uno that just came out. So my household has been full of me playing Uno. And she not only changed the game, but she added a new rule, which is the no card. So if you get that draw 4, you can pull out that no card and be like, not today, fam.
No on the Uno in Kyle Jones's domain, man. That sounded like it's live. It might be a little contested. Please exercise responsibility.
Uno mas.
While you're around the table this holiday season with that over there. It can get contested. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on my side as well, I've been up to some good things this week too. I am happy to report, can't release the full amount just yet, but we have raised some funds to get into hands of the endangered youth out. In particular, I mentioned a little earlier on our side that I had some brushes with some traumatic incidents in my family, so I'm happy that our fundraising effort is going to help mentorship with people who are having a little bit more struggle with the mental health and wellness side in our community specifically. So guys, I'm just happy to raise some money on that. Happy to put that money in the right direction. Happy to keep that moving. I'm looking forward to seeing what that actually does coming into this week and into next year in particular, because I know a lot of people was hurting, man. I'm trying to uplift the community, brothers.
Yo, shout out to you, Tone, because a lot of people say they're trying to make moves and they're trying to do things, but then you never hear some dollars and cents behind it.
Man, I'm telling you right now, people talk about it, Corey, but they don't be about it. I got to really go through this and detail it, man. When you giving out the platitudes, and for people out there who don't really get the whole Scrabble kind of dictionary out there, if you giving out the well wishes,
they would have lost you a long time ago, fam.
It's all good. I'm going to make sure that everybody's up to speed, right? When I'm making the references of wellness and well-being, there's such a thing as toxic positivity out there, man. So people could say something, but if you don't have the ability to show up for that thing that you said, I'm going to look at you different from here on out. I don't care about what your black square did. I don't care about what your vote for this person, vote for that person. What are you doing actively in the community? Because people are really hurting. They are in dire straits. So I got to be on the front line with mine, and I would like to not necessarily compare and contrast, but I would like to ignite anybody else who's really about this business. Hit me up directly, and I can tell you how I'm getting out there and making this movement. Matter of fact, one could say, Corey, I'll be down to put people on to game, my brother.
All right.
I'll be down to let them know what's going on to and fro inside here. And on that note, you know what time it is, brother. Let's go ahead and put them on game this week, Corey.
All right, so let me put you on game right quick. So the question came out, and it came directly from a couple of personal trainers, couple fitness and wellness folks. And what is the pivot? Now that we see that everything has changed in the game, what is the pivot for personal trainers, Group X pros in 2021?
Wow, this is a loaded question, my friends.
Don't be mad. UPS is hiring.
Woo-wee.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Straight up. Nah, man, I think, when you think about 2021 and you think about what you can do, if you can't get in the gym, man, move your body. Become a mover. Move some packages, be a mailman, let that ego go away and do what's paying. If people are buying packages, I see a delivery man every day, dog. They ain't slowing down no time soon. So, if you can't be in the gym and you trying to move.
Yeah, man. It's looking kind of crazy, bro. I've seen a lot of people start to do stuff that I know they would not do if they wasn't in a bad situation. And it's making me have to look back. It's like, damn, yo, that's where the game is at.
Like the OnlyFans?
Like the OnlyFans.
Or the Tony fans?
Like
Tony
the people.
fans.
Yeah, man. See, y'all thought I was joking around, but I'm
Tony the Pooh.
Yo, on the real, you tell me right now, both of y'all pull out your phones, y'all go through your timeline right now or your feed right now, and you don't see a bunch of people that you know in the industry doing a bunch of stuff that you like, yo, this looks away.
Oh, yeah.
This really looks away. And I'm actually sorry for how it looks for people who do have different means by doing that. So I would say to one, come back through and give them some actual actionable items. You do have transferable skills.
For sure.
Those transferable skills, if you really do go through the list and harvest them, they can get you other jobs. You just have to be resourceful about how you move through this industry and really parse through the things that people were paying for. That's your value proposition, right? Exactly. So if you can be a motivator, if you can be somebody who is good at cataloging and going through a list of resources and making a prescription, if you can stand in front of a crowd of people and make them feel like they got more confidence than they had when they come in, there are jobs that need things like this. We just got to be a little bit more resourceful. Now, I'm happy to give these resources over as soon as you cut a check over this way, because
TTC.
I'm covering my bases and you should cover your own ass too.
That's exactly it. You gotta figure out what you're actually good at, and then take that thing that you're good at plus what you want to do, and then try to find a space where you can actually perform that. So some of those skills, just like Tone said, are transferable. You may end up thinking of yourself as a leader. You may think of yourself as a teacher. You may look at those different attributes that you have that contribute to your quality as a fitness professional and use those things to pivot that way. You also got to take a look at what's in that space already. So certain things you can't compete with. It doesn't make sense to try to go into the game fighting with the sharks when you're a guppy. So you got to figure out your own little niche. But, don't be afraid to step back and do something else. I know when the game was early, I was working at side jobs and doing other things this might be that time. This might be that time for that side work.
I would say definitely tap back into your network too. Like on a real tip, don't be ashamed to polish off that resume. But if you are a personal trainer, you've had clientele that were numerous and were employed at some point. So tap into that network of people that you trained. Especially if you're a group fitness instructor, there are plenty of people that you came in contact with on the regular. Tap into them. Hey man, I'm looking for a pivot in this year. You have any openings? Nepotism is still a real thing. So it's not necessarily about what you know, but who you know is going to get you into where you need to be.
Make that net go to work.
The biggest thing I would close it out with is get as good as you can at your craft while you have the time. While you have free time and you are not busy working, be busy getting better.
Amen to that. Expertise will be the pathway towards salvation, Brother Corey. And it looks like, again, folks, this industry is going to be a highly contested industry going forward. So I do truly wish everybody that's out there that's in that pivotal position the best of luck going forward. And I would also lastly offer that the content piece is going to be king going from here on out. Remember where you heard it. I'm going to make sure that we reference this again. Thank you very much. And now, back to our normally scheduled programming. Fellas, if we're talking about the competition happening inside of this fitness industry, you know we got to move right on into the good, the bad, and then the ugly. And it is time for that rip from the headlines. Now, I am looking, fellas, coming right off of that last story about all the things that the normal traditional trainers and the normal Group X people are going to have to be going through coming up in the top part of 2021, where we're making most of our money. I'm looking at the power players. We've been putting them on the game for as long as possible and putting them at the top. And lo and behold, this week, Apple Fitness Plus has hit these streets. And man, oh man, if I wasn't prepared for this conversation, I would be in a position where I have to be reactive instead of proactive. But you fellas know that we've been paying attention to what's going on over here.
Absolutely.
You guys know that Apple is going to have everything vertically integrated from your watch to your phone, to your TV, to your computer. So everything in that ecosystem, as we have detailed in previous episodes of this rip from the headlines, is coming right down the pipeline at a very low price. I'm talking $9.99. Now, wherever you could do a session in aggregate and make profit off of $9.99 and compete with Apple, I say you should go right ahead and go head up like Corey was alluding to. But if you cannot do that, chances are you're going to be coming up into a clean system. I'm talking about, man, high def 4K videos looking from top to bottom stunning that offer 10 different styles of workout that can be augmented on the go, guys. I'm talking about you can switch your workout from 10 minutes to 20 minutes to 45 minutes or anything in between as you want to go through. And it also gives you some augmented suggestions that you're going through the rest of the day, because remember, they're keeping track of everything that you're doing. So if your heart rate's up, they'll suggest you to breathe. If you're feeling a little too stressed, they'll check in on when's the last time you got hydrated. Fellas, this is a clean system, and this first push from Apple is looking like they're playing here for keeps, my man. What do you guys feel about hearing the features coming through on this Apple Plus Fitness side, looking like they're standing and delivering and looking to do more inside here?
Yo, this is a giant in this room right here. Like, you're going to have a tough time competing at this exact format in this exact type of way. It's going to be damn near impossible because of what they're offering at the price rate they're offering. And also, you got to remember how tech works. This is step one. This is Absolutely. The first launch. This is only going to get better as time goes. You take the first iPhone compared to the ones now. I mean, they have more buttons, but they certainly didn't do what they do now.
Understood. I think, believe it or not, I'm actually kind of excited for it in a way, because I've been a customer of Apple for so long, man. I got the watch, I got the phone, I got the TV in the crib. So I'm only excited to see how it comes out. I wish I was getting a check from it for sure.
Amen.
It ain't too late. But for the rest of the industry, man, it's going to get ugly for y'all.
Listen, man, for the low price of $9.99 a month, that's going to be better than most gym memberships that I can find on the market, guys. I'm looking around.
That's that Ready Rock price right there.
If you're paying $9.99, your gym is dirty.
Listen, fellas, for $9.99 a month, I know that's a lot less than most subscription services are going for right now. And for $9.99 a month and being vertically integrated with your Pelotons, your rowing machines, and a whole slew of other people that know it's time to get down and lay down. See, most people have hard times getting into the open API of things, and that open source API is how you connect all your devices to each other. Guess who's not going to have a problem over on that side?
No, not at all.
Good old Apple, right? So they are getting everybody online, and him and Peloton teaming up is going to be a hell of a team to beat. And that is why this is landing us into the questionably good this week, because more people will get fit by this, and as more people do get fit, more people will be motivated. We got to start to get that resource back in there. So hopefully more people can get employed. And speaking of employment and questionable pivots, I got to move into a category where I feel like I have to keep that same energy, but I'm conflicted at my base constituency, because this woman can do no wrong in my eyes most of the time, fellas. But faithful listeners of the show will know that we had some smoke for one GP out there. For those who are brand new, I'm talking about Gwyneth Paltrow.
No.
We can't have that. Kyle, as it goes, Gwyneth may have been influencing some of her Hollywood friends to go ahead and slide on into this wellness lane.
What are you talking about, Tone?
Well, let us listeners also know that we gave a hard time to the brother Common out here for doing some uncommonsensical things inside of our industry. And let us also know that we gave some heat True heat to Chris Pratt. All them damn action superhero dudes that was coming in. Thor. I don't know which one Chris Pratt is, but I know he has some damn wellness stuff inside there. Also gave some smoke to Aquaman inside here for doing some questionable things inside of fitness. So when Catwoman comes down the line, I gotta call her out for some bullshit too. And you guys know if we talking about Catwoman, I'm talking about OG Catwoman.
Marcus, darling.
I ain't talking about Eartha.
You not talking about Eartha?
I ain't going Eartha, man.
Halle Berry.
I'm saying Halle Berry, hallelujah in this next conversation, fellas, because Halle Berry has come into our wellness arena herself with her new brand called Respin. And Respin is an e-commerce wellness brand that is not only going to be focusing on workouts, focusing on well-being coaching, but also some apparel coming down the line. And man, this apparel is looking good on Holly. I don't know how it's going to look on everybody else. What you guys feel?
It's not going to look as good as it do on her.
About Miss Berry coming into our situation and stepping with the big dogs like GP and Goop on this side.
This might be the first negative thing I have to say about Halle Berry in a long time. But get the fuck up out of here with the nonsense. You know, at 54, she looks amazing, but just because she does that, you know, there's been plenty of women that have tried and failed to keep up with Miss Berry, if you will. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can really support this, especially given our track record of non-support of celebrity wellness.
That's exactly why I was conflicted, man. Corey, what you think on that?
I'm sad about it because, you know, I've always been a fan, but boo.
Well, the brand describes itself on its website as an accessible resource.
Somebody boo this woman.
Boo this woman. Boo! And her resourceful destination for conversation, connection, and discovery in the wellness arena. Holly, I'm sorry. I wanted to bring you into the fold, but the good folks over here at the Off the Strength podcast have said Respin will get no more cycles over here, and I am sorry. This is going to land you in the bad this week, and if we're going through the good
but never
and
ugly.
the bad, she cannot be ugly.
Never
She will never
ugly.
be in color.
Never
No.
Hey, Holly, call me.
Yeah,
Yo, she never text me back.
man, we probably gave her some tips on this thing. This respin would have been unspun, and then it got a good upspin. We could have had this whole situation.
Spinderella.
You know, all of that shit, man. And fellas, last but not least, I want to come back inside here. Now, I don't have an ugly this week, but I do want to talk about 8 key dimensions inside of wellness that people may not be paying attention to that could be vital to help you setting healthy boundaries and helping you reset what you need to do coming into 2021. So, in an article from Well and Good, I want to go through some of the boundaries that they have and some of the pillars and see if, one, they jive with you, and then two, how do we set a little bit of a boundary around some of these things. So I'd say let's go through that from the top. I'm going to say physical. I think that's the obvious one. Mm-hmm. And that's obvious how we get, you know, fortified on that side and where we start and stop our parameters on there. But when we talk about social, how do you guys approach social parameters in terms of where your boundaries need to be, how you proliferate, and how you even fortify what's going on that side?
The social boundaries, every person has to set them for themselves, but you just have to decide what you're comfortable with and then be really clear and concise about everything up front. Really, the conflict tends to happen from misunderstanding. For the most part, if people are aware of your boundaries early and you express them, then they'll respond accordingly. And if they don't, then that's somebody that shouldn't be in your social circle regardless.
I appreciate that, brother Corey. Kyle, I'm going to move on to another one. Now, I know you can give me a lot of information about the spiritual boundaries, but I would want to also understand what these intellectual boundaries might have to look like by means of a brother like you, because I would struggle understanding where I need to start and stop on this side, but can you give me some advice on this one, brother?
Of course, man. For your intellectual boundaries, I would say be sure to befriend people that you feel are more enlightened than you. You'll never not learn something from people that are more well off or have more of an educational background than you. So I think in order to have a healthy boundary for your intellectual properties, you need to be around people that have intellectual property.
I hear you, man. The company you keep is going to occupy where you go forward. I appreciate that, brother. And last but not least, I'm going to jump into the environmental over here, because we did make some statements about us being some forest bathing Jezebels, or Forest Bay, the Negroes, depending on which company we were keeping at that particular point in time.
Both.
And I would say that nature is that thing that heals you in particular, because getting away, at least selfishly, we live in these metropolitan cities, getting away from all the busyness that happens inside the city from time to time, and you're really getting that restorative energy that comes by being next to some water, being amongst the trees, being in the forest, being in the thick of the bush.
Frolicking in the snow, if
Frolicking
you will.
in the snow, like Brother Corey over here. It could be something that restores that jovial nature inside of life. So, folks, I would want you to go ahead and look back through them well and good and find all 8 of these dimensions, see how they can be impactful on you, and reach back out to us when you get a chance to, because we do have an opportunity for you to do that. Brother Jones.
What's the word?
Can you cue the good people up on where they could find us and where they can ask about what these dimensions might be, and they can get some pro tips from the Off the Strength crew, brother?
Well, Tony, if our listeners would like to go to offthestrength.com, pretty simple. There's nothing more. There's nothing less. It's just offthestrength.com. You know, offthestrength.com. There we go.
That sounds
Wait,
pretty right.
what is it?
I think it's offthestrength.com.
Not org.
Not org. Not org. Not none of that other. No, offthestrength.com.
.com. That's right. Sign up for your email over here. Submit your questions, and we'll make sure we get back to you. And that's going to be it from the good, the bad, and the ugly this week. We're closing down Rip from the headlines. We're going to move on into getting a little clearer in our situation. Brother Corey, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you go ahead and bless these people with a moment of clarity for this week?
Well, let me thank God for granting me this moment of clarity. So what I want to do, I want to share with this with you, because it came up recently with one of my clients, and I feel like it will apply to you. So when you look at our culture is obsessed with greatness. Not just greatness, but who is the greatest of the great. So since Uncle L coined the phrase GOAT, greatest of all time, we've been comparing greatness to exhaustion. We go LeBron to Jordan, Biggie to Pop, cops to high blood pressure, who gonna kill more black folks, etc. In the pursuit of greatness, the relentless and the hastily rewarded chase for better, we often hold ourselves to an unrealistic standard. You have to remember the perspective. Remember how much time you put into your pursuit. Remember how much education you had to start with. Remember that you may not have started off at the same place as somebody else did, because your finish line may be at the same start, but that doesn't mean your starting line was at the same place. So you have to give yourself that extra space. So one of the greatest assistants to greatness is experience. So you got to give yourself time to learn, time to be proficient, and then time to focus that proficiency into excellence. Because greatness is a talent, but if you add that talent plus work ethic plus experience and opportunity, then you have the chance to achieve that greatness. So allow yourself time to be great. Forgive yourself for not being the greatest at this second, because that takes time. So the question I want to bring to you, gentlemen, so you can share some more knowledge out to these people, is what advice can you give, like outside of the normal, keep pushing, never give up, the cliche? What would you give to our listeners, how they can take a step forward in pursuing their own greatness?
I would say that greatness is a choice. It's something that you have to consciously and intentionally choose every single day. So when you make that choice, you have to think about, like you were saying before, think about that finish line, but also be very cognizant of that start. You can't be afraid to be that beginner. You can't put those unrealistic expectations. Like you said, man, I think the starting point to being great is having the idea in your mind of what greatness is, or even if there is a, someone that you're using as like the ideal, working towards that motion, surrounding yourself with like-minded company. But ultimately, I think it's that choice that you have to make every day when you wake up. It's about, I'm doing this for me intentionally to get better at whatever I'm trying to be great at.
So you have to clearly define your greatness first and then take those steps forward.
Bingo.
Brother Tone.
Yes, sir.
Speak to the people.
My man, I would say first things first, I would look at where I am weakest in my game. And I think that's the part that a lot of people don't necessarily really tap into to make sure that you go from good to great. And now we could talk about it to the ball players over there. If you could do all the stuff in the world with your right side, but you ain't got a left, how could you ever touch the great?
You on the bench.
Exactly, right? So if we're coming inside that direction, wherever the weakest chain in your link is where you should put the most of your attention to get the highest yield out of that. Now, once you move past that position and you do have some talent, you do have the responsibility to show up for that talent, because that will transition you from being just somebody that's good into that great. And then finally, the thing that's going to really keep you on that path to great is you being the last person that gives up on you, no matter what is going on in your situation. Because not everybody's going to see the vision. Not everybody's going to understand the shadow work that you had to do. Not everybody is going to understand what you are willing to do, point blank, simple and plain, to get to that position. But you got to be your best advocate. You got to be your own goddamn hero in that situation. So if you can do those 3 things, I think you're on that path to greatness, Brother Corey.
Facts and figures right there. That's it.
That's love.
Lead with the love.
Hey, man. We're trying to get inside here, man. We're giving out these heavy gems. I hope people are picking them up.
Well, if we giving out gems, gents, man, I would be remiss if I, being the spiritual advisor of the Off the Strength podcast, didn't talk about some of the buffoonery I have seen this week about superpowers.
So we're gonna get some superpowers coming into this week. So is this going to be a transition that's coming up over here, brother?
This is going to be the transition into raising the bar for sure.
Okay, this is a hell of a one. Let's get to it, man.
I got to get on my soapbox just a little bit. Now, gentlemen, have any of you heard anything in your stratosphere this week about December 21st?
Honestly, a guy sent to me in my DM and I never opened it. I just saw it and I was like, this is ridiculous.
How about you, brother Tom?
I've been aggressively defending my space from anybody that would dare send me something that sounded like that. Aggressively. I'm bringing the hottest of energy towards anybody that would suggest something like this towards me. So I would tell you, my friend, tread carefully.
Understood. Now, with that being said, Brother Corey, before I even dive into it.
That's Tone the Blocker over there. He can't nothing in the paint.
He ain't with none of it.
Ain't none of it.
Corey, what is your relationship with manifestation and using astrology to help you along that journey?
So those to me are 2 very separate things.
Okay.
So manifestation is something that I practice consistently. I always work mentally on trying to picture and move towards something and keep that actively in my mind and always create that thing. Astrology, I don't use at all.
Understood. So I bring that up because this week, right, there was ramblings, if you will, that black people in general would be getting superpowers on December 21st.
So all of us?
All of us. Right?
What's the cutoff?
Cutoff was like, yo, if you black, you getting a superpower on the 21st. And I'm like,
there's a gradient. There's a whole.
There's going to be a lot of people trying to be black that weren't before.
That's what I was about to say.
if only you knew. Now, I say that to say that here are the hard facts about December 21st, right? It is the shortest day of the year. It is the winter solstice. It is the movement and solar power rejuvenation, if you will. They're planets that align. The 2 planets are Jupiter and Saturn. The way that they align and come in contact with each other is like something that only happens every 1,000 years, if you will. Okay. A lot of astrology. Now, this conversation is going to go over the heads of anyone who doesn't fall in line with that astrology and things of that nature. So it's more of where's your level of conscious? Where's your belief? If you believe in astrology, then this type of thing is going to be something that you can lean into. If you don't, then it's going to be like, fam, they tripping.
Yeah, I would just go into that direction. So 2 points. I would differentiate astrology and astronomy, right?
Very different things.
In that conversation, there are 2 totally different points of departure.
They are, but they
one is science.
Same, but different.
One is science.
One is science.
Understood.
One is other.
Is an observation that has practice that I would say probably is closely associated with what people can interpret from what they thought was science at some point in time.
We always going to come into that science and religion concept, or we going to come into that chicken and egg concept.
And here's my point to tie this all together, right?
Lay it on me.
Anybody who feels really confident about any statements that they make in that direction, I'm going to look at it as somebody who is trying to lie to me actively. Because if you understand what the time of the precession is, which is a part of what this celestial body moving around, and if we're going to get nerdy, I'm going to talk nerdy to you.
Let's do it, Tone.
Right? So if we understand that cycles come through inside of the precession, and you understand how these planetary alignments happen, you also have to understand that the Earth, as it moves, doesn't go on a full circle, right? We're actually on an ellipsis, so we do wobble. So when they wrote down these observations, compared to today, we're not in the same direction. So when you come up with a hard description for this planet means this and these stars mean that, and you're trying to go back in time, like with the Mayan calendar or the Aztec calendar, you got to realize that whatever observation they were making is likely not the same observation that you are making at this point in time. Therein lies the first problem that I would have with saying that I have absolute information from here, Brother Corey.
May I expand on that slightly?
Mm-hmm.
You also have to remember that a lot of those things are based on specific times and dates your birthday, things like that, what sign you are. And the months in the calendar are not aligned in the same place. March 5th is not March 5th in the same place that it was before. It's not the same day. So now it's thousands of years later.
Yeah.
So that day is not even nearly where that day used to be.
All that to say, I got stuff that I know. I got stuff that I know I don't know. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that nobody, I feel real honestly, can give you a wholehearted opinion on. But I do see a lot of people putting value into it. And the power of the mind, Brother Jones, can let you believe and manifest whatever it is that you really do want. So if you believe the sun, moons, and stars can come together and you can watch the tides pull the sands, you might subscribe some other manifestations along with that, good brother.
Which brings us back to the separation between manifestation and belief.
Well, thank you for that, brother Neil deGrasse Vidal.
Tonson. Yeah. Neil deGrasse Tonson right there.
Yeah, man.
Now, I say all this to say that the 21st is going to be a day when you get a clean slate.
All right.
That's what my takeaway is from this, right? It's the day where you can manifest what you desire, allowing yourself to build your vision within. If there was ever a day to see it, to believe it, 21st is going to be that day. Now, of course, you're going to need some actionable steps to go along with that, right, gents? I mean, that's what we've been laying out all episode, all day today.
Listen, I still want superpowers, so I'm trying to get to that. I want to believe. I'm signing up.
You might have to go to a power plant or something and hope for the best. Now, you got to ask yourself the hard questions here. We had SRJ on the show a while ago. He was talking about ask yourself the hard questions. So these are the hard questions that you, the listeners, if you can hear my voice right now, ask yourself this question. What do you desire most out of life? Not trivial, not monetary, not material, but rather a purpose. What are you willing to sacrifice to get to that greater good? Believing what you truly desire is attainable, what present day is stopping you? Now, Brother Tone, how much will it cost to get to that next level of greatness often sought after?
My man, it's cost me everything.
Every goddamn thing you got. That's what it costs, right?
I don't think people understand that, though. That's heavy, brother.
People don't understand that. And this is the most important part about what they don't understand.
What can I do? It's cost me a lot.
What will you change once you receive what you manifested?
Everything.
What will it feel like?
Everything.
Who will be around you?
Everyone.
Who will benefit?
Everyone.
Who gonna suffer?
No one anymore. Not on my reign.
All of these answers
It's cost me a lot.
are the questions of December 21st, right? When December 21st comes around, that's what you need to answer right there. Everything I just laid out. Go back, play it again, listen to it, think about it. But, you know, people often talk about things like generational curses, right? But have you broken your ancestral patterns? Right? You know, have you dug up the roots leading to the origin of your limitation?
Absolutely.
You know, people like to give a little food for thought. This is, winding down. So I'm going to give a little dessert for thought, if you will.
There we go.
All right.
So detachment means freedom from the desires of living in the pursuit of liberation without ignoring your duties and responsibilities. Believed to be true only what you have personally researched, practiced, and applied. Otherwise, you'll be deceived repeatedly by the leaders you elect, the products you choose, and the institutions you support.
See, Kyle tried to put the battery in my back over here. I was already ready for some revolution shit. He just told me about the institutions deceiving me.
Tone already got on the crib with the camouflage. Tone is ready.
Listen, I'm just here to tell you about the 21st. Now, just to be clear, you ain't getting no goddamn superpower.
I'm upset about this now.
Right?
It kind of sounds like you are.
Well, the power then lies internally. And if you choose to be great every single day, that's where your motherfucking superpower is coming from right there.
I got to address this man differently, especially now that he looks like he is the first official Shabbat Shalom rabbi from the home state right here.
So, brother, Dr. Jones, what you telling us is that not just black people, but everyone are going to receive their superpowers if they believe that their superpowers exist and if they choose powers that they can actually use.
If you believe you're great, who can take that from you?
Ooh,
Ooh-wee. That's a dangerous position to be in. You got to make sure that you're ready to carry the power of that sword, because
You can take it from you.
yeah, you will be the person that takes it from you. You will be the person that causes a lot of what people call self-sabotage. You have doubt. You have all those limiting beliefs that set in as soon as you do dare to be great in that kind of sense. You know, it is likening of the man in the arena. You guys are familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
Of
You
course.
standing around there, you can't have anybody judging you that's not inside the arena except for you who's in there daring to be great, you know, daring greatly in that whole direction. I hear that, Brother Jones. I receive this. And Rabbi, I appreciate you.
Shalom.
The most dangerous person in your circle is you.
Hell yeah, man. Staying at the center.
You know, and that's just kind of how I had to bring in the energy this week. I saw a lot of people reporting on, you know, superpowers and things of that nature. And it's 2020, man. And if nothing else, this year is the year where you had to tap into you know, and think of it as seasonal. Like, this is the end of a season. This is the end of the year. We're here now. What are you going to do in 2021? What are you going to do to make that turn, to flip that page? Are you know, taking time out to relax, Brother Tone? Are you know, taking time to find some relaxation responsibly?
You know, I am, my friend. I am. But that is a hell of a transition. Again, I got to give him the props on that side, Corey. He's moving smooth out here in these streets over here. Shabbat shalom to the big homie over that side. Yeah,
The shalomi.
The shalomi, the old shalomi.
Mazel tov.
Oh man, we're gonna get carried away on that one. We got it. So yeah, I do appreciate the direction that you're going in, Colin. I appreciate how you set me up on my relaxation tip in 2021, because there will be some sands touched as soon as I can figure out which ones are not going to be the highly contaminated ones on this front line, because that is the highest of priority here. I've been busting my ass all year long to
You might
make
need
sure.
some black sand.
Yeah,
Oh, I
right now
need
these
some-
sands is cat litter.
Yeah, man, I ain't trying to go nowhere where nobody's at. Oh, you know how I get low, fam. If I get some Wi-Fi, I'm about to go. You know where I'm about to be.
Tone
I'm
gonna
about
have no shirt and one sandal.
check this out, fam. I'm out in the middle of the my office is right here, bro. If I got some good Wi-Fi, I'm out.
If he gone, then that means one of us got to do the intro.
Nah, we still gonna be right in here.
Best goddamn.
Yeah, you better come with the energy too. You better act like
What's
I wanna
good,
be.
everybody?
What's good?
That's right, yo. Don't forget it, man. Hey, listen, we fathered this sound over here. I ain't playing, man. I'll take all the blame and credit for that shit. Get out of here, bro. But yeah, as soon as I do get a chance, I will be relaxing responsibly inside of a destination that's going to be remote. I'm going to be able to be connected and disconnected at the same time.
All right.
How about you, Brother Corey?
My man, let me tell you. I got a new bonsai.
Okay.
My mama sent it to me. Shout out to moms.
Understood.
Mom sent me the bonsai, so I got to sit down and get the little trimmer and trim out the bonsai and like put my mind and focus on keeping something alive and nurtured and fresh and happy and, you know, all those things.
I know things are closed now, but have you ever been to a botanical garden?
Of course. Yeah.
You seen the little bonsai trees that they have in there?
Yeah.
It's fire in there, right?
Yes.
They be like 100 years old.
Yeah, mad old. I really want to, when I get some land that I can plant some soil in, that's not in Florida, because I'm not planting a bonsai in Florida.
Understood.
I definitely want to get a bonsai in my backyard, like to plant it, root it, really put it into the earth. That'll be like my celebration of the fact that this is land I own,
Dope.
you know?
Man, I mean, you talking about bonsai trees. I have to talk about this desktop that I purchased.
Okay.
All right.
You know, the Hashitashi 2000.
The what? I'm sorry.
What was that?
Did you make it through that one?
What was that?
What kind of
Good
laptop?
night, fam.
What kind of laptop did you get, brother?
The Hashitashi 2000.
Okay. I got you. Is there any special features or places that you try and take us with this?
What does it do, sashimi?
Nah, man, I had to purchase a new desktop, and it was one of those retail expenses where, man, I feel like I just bought a Honda Civic, you know, 4-door fully loaded, man.
Damn near did.
That shit wasn't cheap at all. But I'm excited to make that money back 100 times over by putting in work with it. So even though I'm not going to be relaxed once I get it, I'm relaxed knowing that I made the purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, you was coming into the lob for the relaxation, so I just kept going in there. But relaxation is not what's on the top order for 2021, big homie. I'm trying to
Not at all.
win. Win.
Well, if you're trying to win, Tony, that means you sound a little hopeful to me.
I am hopeful, goddammit, and I appreciate the setup because this week, fellas, again, like I mentioned at the top of the show, my fundraising efforts are starting to move in a positive direction, and the most important thing for me is to really be in service of those people that do need it the most, and I am hopeful that we are going to be able to put some money in the hands of the kids that need it the most, who are trying to improve their life through this mental health coaching and counseling that we're going to get them.
That's what's up, Tone.
Hell yeah.
Don't love the kids.
I do, man. I really do. Yo, people get me fucked up, man. I'm actually really caring person until you push me in the wrong direction. Then all bets off, you know?
It could be a light push.
It don't have to be a lot.
Like, it could be the wind from you turning around
Don't
the corner,
touch him
but
on
if
the
that
shoulder.
hit him,
It don't even have to have nothing to do with you. You could be getting a whole lot of other stuff. I'm still trying to be a better person. And hopefully on the 21st, my alignment shit get all together. I'll be better, like my rabbi says, you know?
there you go.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. Yo, for me, I'm hopeful, one, that everybody goes out and get that UNDNYC recovery kit so they can feel better and live better. And also, I'm hopeful that when my superpower comes in, it's X-ray vision.
Oh, damn.
That's what I want to see.
X-ray
Because I
vision.
got some things I want to see. You know what I mean?
That's a nasty
I want
vision
that
right
20/20 vision.
Yeah, they get you right in the Me Too situation. Superman be locked up today.
See, y'all always take it to the wrong place.
Nah. If you got X-ray vision, I'm gonna put that weighted blanket on me. That feel like
Yeah, the
when
lead-
you go to a dentist's
the lead
office.
joint.
You know what I'm talking about? So you can't see nothing.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Now,
Jonesy,
what's up?
what you hopeful for, brother?
Oh man, I'm hopeful that people visit my favorite website. You know what I'm saying? My favorite. You know about offthestrength.com?
Nah.
Man,
Tell me
about it.
.com.
man, offthestrength.com is fire, dog. Like for real. You can go there. You can subscribe.
Say what?
Man, you can sign up for emails and notifications and whatnot. And it's these 3 dudes that's on there that's actually kind of cool.
Good brothers.
What? 3 good brothers, man. They look stylish on there. They got 3 nice little bios. And all the episodes are there on the website.
It's a lot of damn episodes.
Yo, that's crazy.
Man, it's like 165 of them.
Something like that.
Yo, these dudes is kind of fire on Off the Strength. So
What was the name of it?
I think offthestrength.com.
.com.
Make sure you spell it right. So don't switch the T with the G, because sometimes people email me with the G instead of the
Learn
T
how to
and the T
spell
instead of the G.
Yeah, that's a critical thing. We've made that mistake.
Not
several
strength to
times. Yeah, Stregnith. Off the Stregnith is not what we're going with.
Learn how to spell strength and make sure you visit offthestrength.com.
Absolutely. Look at that. That was a ad that Kyle ran for himself on that side, man. I don't even know what better way to come inside here and land this plane, gents. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling wonderful. Stupendous.
There we go, man.
I was thinking of the word that we used previously. Splendid. I am
Splendid.
feeling splendiferous.
Splendiferous. Fantastically well. All right.
Heidi ho.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Once again, it's been another spontaneously good, scrumptious episode of Off the Strength. I'm a trainer called Tony.
K.R. Jones, Salome.
You're trainer Corey, man. That's it.
Peace and much love to y'all until next time. We'll see you soon. K.R. Jones, shalom.